Hey, what's up, y'all? GoofyRhexxi here. Hope everybody is doing well, and wanted to take some time and talk about two particular topics that I want to dive into here. Number one, first and foremost, did we overreact to Zombie Ironman, right? Did we overreact to sort of the information that we got last week in regards to his event before actually seeing what the event looked like? There are some portions of it where I do think that it's warranted in regards to how we originally felt. The dark promotion credits is definitely one of them, and we'll talk about that here in this video. And then also as well, Nakia Event campaign, right? So there's a lot of information going out right now, or there's some information going out right now, a lot of reactions to what the Nakia event looks like right now, and I'm wondering whether or not we potentially maybe overreacting to that as well, especially being that we don't know the full information. But we'll dive into that here in this video. Let's have that discussion here. But the first thing and foremost, right, is Zombie Ironman. And now that we've had a couple days and the event is going on, and we got about a day and 5 hours left before the event is over, I want to say this. So the Zombie Ironman event has not been that bad, right? Zombie Ironman's event has been pretty good as far as I'm concerned. Very free to play, or free to play friendly-ish. I think in regards to the amount of shards that you're able to get for a particular character. So we know, first and foremost, let's talk about the event, the campaign itself, the trick or treat campaign. So you're able to kind of go through this fairly easy if you have an end game roster, or just beginning end game roster, or even a mid game roster. For the most part, you're able to kind of rifle through most of this stuff, at least through the first 4 nodes. Now, maybe node 5 is probably going to be a little bit challenging for you because of this Dormammu and how Dormammu is. Yeah, you're gonna need some good power there in order to be able to get through it. And then we have the zombie party portion of it, which this one is a lot more restrictive and challenging because you do need specific star levels. But you're able to get a lot of really good rewards for it if you were able to get to the last node 5. There was some confusion. Do you need Zombie Ironman at 2 or 3 stars in order to be able to get through it? And it turns out that as long as you just had the Zombie Ironman, well, you have to use them at 2 stars. That was not a good example. But as long as you had Zombie Ironman and other characters that were 6 stars or higher, you were able to do this and then be able to complete it, and you were able to get the really good rewards that were there for it. What you do with those rewards, completely up to you at that point, but you were able to get some pretty good rewards there. I think the 2 million gold is probably the one that I was the most excited about. And of course, yes, getting a new sort of hero unique was also good as well. But from a free-to-play perspective, this has actually been a pretty good event right now. Obviously, of course, players who were able to spend more cores on this event are going to be the ones that are going to benefit, right? Like, I know I am spending 600 cores a day. That's giving me 2 orbs per day that I'm able to open up, and that is so far landing me a lot of really good shard drops. Now, to be fair, some of this is also RNG luck. I currently have 46 shards into 80 here, so I'm about, less than 40 shards, 34 shards away from being able to get a 4-star. I have to get really lucky in order for that to happen, and I feel like I've already exhausted my luck. I've gotten 160 drop, I've gotten a couple 20 drops already, so I feel like maybe I've already exhausted my luck. I doubt that I'll probably be able to get to the 34 shards that I need left at this point to be able to get to 4 stars. But for the most part, it's been a pretty free to play friendly event as long as you had the cores. Now, even if you only had 200 cores per day, you're still able to get an orb a day, and you can still get lucky. And then we also got those 10 free shards from Scopely, right, which was a nice little touch. It was in the web store, of course, which I know can pose a little bit of difficulty for some players, but it was a nice little touch that we're able to give you those 10 free shards. I know that helped a lot of players to be able to actually unlock the character and then be able to lose the character. And then that's another portion of it, right? This character is good at low stars. So Zombie Ironman and Hela are punching and defeating Dormhole teams that it's insane, right? They're able to beat anything else other than Gamma and Alliance War. This team is, or maybe they have been in Gamma. I think they have been in Gamma, but I think that matchup is a little bit more RNG-ish, so I don't know if it goes as well, but I've heard that there's been some small success rate at them being able to beat Gamma, but they beat Dormhold. Right now, there's another team that's going to be coming out that's supposed to be Dormhold as well, in the War Dogs team, which we're going to talk about a little bit later in this video. But Zombie Ironman being good at low stars, I think, is pretty good. Now, I have held off on bringing him up to gear tier 15 because I am of the belief that maybe this piece may be used or needed for Archangel, but yes, I did bring him up to level 90 and gear tier 14. Now, is Zombie Iron Man for everyone? I don't think so. I think if you don't care about war, I think he's an easily skippable character that you don't really have to go after or level up or build. But I kind of thought Zombie Iron Man was a cool character and I could use him in Alliance War against Stormhold and then use my Gamma somewhere else. And then so it's kind of one of those things where I'm like, okay, this gives me more flexibility as it pertains to Alliance War. Now, I do still think the Dark Promotion credit thing, super shady. So that portion of it, I don't think we overreacted to. I think we reacted appropriately to the Dark Promotion credits aspect of it, right? Like, man, let us know in advance that you were gonna make this character, this character was gonna be Dark Promotion credits needed, right? Now, of course, you don't need red stars on the character. Zombie Iron Man performs fine without red stars. We always like to put some red stars on characters because it's like a little shiny piece, and we're kind of programmed mentally to believe that red stars are really important, which they are. So when you give us a character and then we can't like easily just throw red stars on, it kind of makes us feel weird, right? Because we're like, we don't need red stars on this character, but red stars make the meta, right? Yeah, it does, but you also really don't need red stars on this character. But I do think it's still shady that it didn't communicate this in advance to let us know, hey, this character's gonna need red stars, especially for players who are like me, right? That just spent 4,500 credits on getting Morgan Le Fay to 7 red stars and then spent another 1,200 to get Red Hulk to 5 red stars and are now trying to build back up our kiddie pool so that we can get Archangel to 5 red stars whenever we get him. Okay, it kind of does feel bad. And now you kind of have to make a decision between, hey, Zombie Iron Man or Legendary Horseman characters. It also sets a bad precedent for what they may do with future characters as well. It also feels additionally bad because they also reduce the amounts of Dark Promotion credits that we've been able to get over the past month or 2 months. So it's kind of that lead up kind of just makes it feel really bad and slimy. But overall, the event has been pretty good. It's very free to play friendly. Characters good at low stars, so I think from that perspective it's a win. If the character did not perform as well, though, I will say this, I think that you probably would have a lot more outrage than what you do currently right now, right? But then we move on to the Nakia event, and that's a question that I'm asking myself too, like, are we overreacting to what we know about Nakia so far? So pulling up the blog post here, and we're going to talk about that Reddit post that I just skipped over, but the blog post that we got in the release notes was Dogs of War, right? Power up your roster for Nakia's event campaign. Dogs of War, if you plan on battling through the heroic difficulty, you'll need a top squad of what was originally Wakandans, and now it says War Dog. So this feels bad just looking at it, right? Because if the expectation is, okay, I'm going to need, there's 2 new War Dog characters. There's Nakia, who this event is for, and then there's Black Panther 1mm, who we believe is going to be the month-long character. If that's the case, that means that I'm going to need, if I want to do this heroic difficulty, I may need to spend, or I might need to core out to try to get this character, or for Nakia, I may need to like go really hard on my cores. I just spent cores on the Zombie Iron Man event. It's going to be really kind of, and then I have to build them up, right? I have to have the gear available to build up these characters. So there is definitely this feeling of, oh my God, like, I don't know, I don't like how this feels, and if this is a precedent that they're going to set moving forward, this could also feel bad as well. But with the limited information that we have, it's hard for us to be able to make sort of an assessment on whether or not this is bad or not. Now, what we do know about previous event campaigns is that usually, from my remembrance, I could be wrong, is that you usually do need 5 characters for an event campaign, right? So previously, before when they had the previous difficulty levels where it was hard, medium, and then easy, I know that you were not restricted on the easy nodes, but once you got to medium, you had to have at least 3 characters that had that specific tag in order for you to be able to do the event. And then for hard, you had to have all 5 characters that had a specific trait in order for you to be able to do that. I do believe it's the same with the heroic difficulty, that you at least need 5 characters that have a particular trait in order for you to be able to attempt and to do those nodes. And if that is the case, then this feels even worse. But maybe they're going to be making some modifications to where you only need 3, because of course there's already 3 War Dog characters that are in the game. There's Shuri, Okoye, and Black Panther. So maybe that's the direction that they're going in. But if that is not the case, then this is definitely going to feel bad. Now, also, there is going to be a Nakia that you're most likely going to get in the event campaign. So maybe you don't need to build up your Nakia to be really strong, but you also need a 3-star those don't know to be able to farm characters. This is where we kind of may be jumping into that territory of maybe we are reacting appropriately to this situation. So I want to know, like, how are we going to be, if you're asking the question, like, how are we going to prepare for this, right? I think this is what you do. I think you kind of just be aware of it. You get your Wakandans to a decent level, get them to maybe level 65, gear tier 10, 65, gear tier 12, and then see what the event looks like. And then you kind of dive into it, right? I'm probably going to hold off on overreacting until we find out the information appropriately, because I don't want to get burned and say, well, this is trash, when maybe it's partially trash and not all trash. So we're gonna have to see exactly what this looks like, but this is my approach now. I think to most of what I'm gonna see here in Marvel Strike Force, I'm gonna react to it when I know all the details, right? I'm gonna see what it looks like first, and then I'm gonna say, all right, well, this sucks and this doesn't suck. And then ultimately, guys, I'm taking the approach of, you know what, man, I'm not a whale, I'm not a Kraken. I can't spend my way out of these things. I'm just gonna sort of take this slower approach, see how things are actually going to be, whether or not the character is going to be important, invest into them at that point. What am I using them for? Make the evaluation that way, and then go from there. It could be that maybe the War Dogs are so good that you want to use them in the Scourge event anyway because they're going to perform better than Bionic Avengers. That could be the case. We don't know as of yet, but let me know what your guys' thoughts are, right? Like, I know I kind of just rambled on here a lot about a lot of things, and I tend to do that if you're probably watching this channel. But appreciate you guys. I want to know what your insights are too. Like, are you thinking that maybe we overreacted to Zombie Iron Man? Like I kind of felt like we did for part of it. The dark promotion credits still are bad. And what are your thoughts right now on the Nakia event campaign? How you're gonna go about preparing for that as well? Listen, appreciate you guys watching the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel here. Until next time, guys, y'all be blessed. Y'all be safe.